Wow, look at all these dev blogs. Alright, welcome everyone. This is Corn, and today we're going to be talking about a very genuine review of what this update's about. I'm not going to be going through everything, like all these anti-cheats, whatever, this and that, surrender options. Yeah, only bitches surrender, that's what I'm saying. Uh, we're just gonna get straight to the point, you know. What we really want to do here is just talk about the balance of the game and see if anything's like they've done a pretty good job so far, I think, at least for this patch. There still are some other issues, but you know, considering how inactive they've been, they've done a good job. Anyways, for this video, we're gonna be mainly going through the balance change logs, and I have recordings to show you like what's changed. Hopefully that's good enough to just give you an idea. We're also going to make a tier list of what used to be the like the tier list for what used to be before the patch and what it's going to be like after the patch. Yeah, so that's going to be the general idea for US only, by the way, because like a lot of the stuff they changed were actually on the US side, whether it be good or bad ones. Mostly good ones though, so US is saved, hooray. Anyways, starting from the first one, KH32s. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play videos from now on, and the first one is actually this. Hold up. Alright, there you have it. So basically, the M3, the TU122, TU22 M3, it basically like it used to be, the missiles used to be very fast, right? At least that's what it was like before, and they changed in a way where it would curve upwards and then downwards now. So I pretty much tried to recreate this exactly the same situation that you've just witnessed. So it says that it curves upwards, and then if you look a bit, yeah. So now the missiles are going upwards, right? And then now they're going down. So they say that apparently long-range SAM sites can actually intercept these missiles, and I object that. Mainly because, first of all, considering that the KH32, I mean, I tried it in the practice room, I just couldn't be bothered recording it. But in reality, like the way this thing works is that since it fires at max range, which is 10 kilometers away, by the time it goes back into low altitude, it's like around, you know, 5-kilometer range or something. Actually, it should be way sooner. Maybe like the S300 or whatever you have set as a SAM site in the back, it shouldn't really be on your front line, right? So it wouldn't be able to shoot in time and intercept the missiles when it's still in high altitude. That being said, the saving grace is that at least the missiles, even though it has like, it takes a longer path, you know, it flies upwards and then downwards at you. So even though it has the same speed, you do have a bit more time to react. You also see it, you know, it looks like a javelin, basically, a big javelin that has a big boom. So yeah, like there's no way someone would fly TU-22 M3 onto your SAM site just to bomb you with that. So yeah, this change, even though like it feels like you could intercept it with SAM sites, I doubt it. Like you would do it at max range, right? And what would really happen is that you would just have more time to react. So I think it's okay. The second one, this is something that honestly should have been fixed, although people didn't really know this was a thing. Hold up, wrong tab. Okay, so just gonna yeet this in. So this is what happened in a game I played previously. Basically, oh wait. Okay, that works. So basically what happened is that I was running away from this SU-30SM. My MSC started shooting at him. And then what happened was this guy immediately turned around. Watch this. Turn around, aim, throws 3 cruise missiles at my face. Actually, that was 2. Bam, double kill. Easy, and then he kills my Viper in the process. It's actually bullshit. Pretty glad that's not a thing anymore. Oh wait, hold up. I hit the screen. There we go. Production's still gotta fix our production. So yeah, like instant blind fire against SAM sites, engaging the plane carrying them. Yeah, like this really should have been changed. I'm glad no one was abusing it. And because this is also the missile that's extreme, like you cannot intercept it. There's no way. It goes very fast, as an anti-air missile. Next thing that's actually important, there are some like minor things like this. Aim time, it's not important, you just do bombing runs anyways from low altitude. This one, maybe, like especially stingers, I mean like, yo, huge 10-second maximum buff, but then like at that point you'd probably be dead or you'd just be sitting in smoke, so it doesn't really change that much. Your stingers are essentially just a deterrence to your enemy's helicopters, so I guess like it's a change, it's a good change, but might not be enough. The next one is actually pretty huge. It listed it down here, so I'm basically just not gonna record anything about it, but basically what it says here is like there are two heat shells of the Americans. The first one is the 1300 meters Abrams, the 1300 meter range Abrams. This one has improved penetration on the heat shells, and for the other ones that are 1400 meters range, they have improved damage. Oops. So here are Abrams. So this is the FEP. Okay, that wrong one. Let's go to the armored brigade. Okay, there. This heat, it now does one more damage. It can two-shot. Well, as it says, it can two-shot stuff like BMPs that are in 400, like BMP-3F stuff like that. It could two-shot it now. I am pretty sure it could two-shot it anyways before, but most vehicles, like tanks, are stronger. US tanks are a bit stronger now. For the Russians, it hasn't really been that much of an issue, mainly because US just generally doesn't have that much armored vehicles. And another thing is, yeah, they have good pen, man. Like, they have 750, I believe. What the hell? 750? Like, let's take a look at T90M. 850. Yeah, okay, so pretty high. And does 10 damage as well, so you could tell that, like, obviously the Russians were the side that really didn't have much issues with IV spam. And so that's another thing that's addressed. Not sure if it's enough, but it's on, you know, it's a good change. The next one is time. Like this one, if you're reading it for the first time, you might find it quite confusing. It's basically the recent meta where you call in HIMARS with prisms, you shoot them, and then you instantly retreat them. So they basically doubled the time of the thing to, like, of the thing's cooldown, you know, for the thing to get prepared again. So the reason you do it is because you want it to go back. Maybe I'll just find a random video so you could watch. This is gonna be, this is spoilers by the way, but basically this is what happens. I start the game, I open up with double HIMARS, I retreat them, and then like in like 90 seconds both are available again. Obviously it didn't call out HIMARS here, but that's how you would do it. And you could keep spamming them. They don't cost that much anyways. You also don't have to pay for upkeeps, which is absolutely crazy. So now the thing is, if you keep them on the field, you pay for the upkeep, but they take let's say HIMARS, they take 90 seconds to fill up. But in reality, they would, like, if you retreat them now, you don't have to pay upkeep, but they take 180 seconds instead of 90 seconds. It's double now. So that's, you know, good change against abuse. This is next one. It's actually huge. It's basically moving around packs from different specializations. So we used to have 3 packs on pack. We used to have 2 packs on the strikers, MSE and pack 3, and the armored brigade had pack 2. But now they kind of swapped it around. Now 3 specializations have packs. It's absolutely huge, actually. This means that you now have 3 specializations that have decent SAM sites. I'm not saying that the airborne's where is it? Slam ram is shit. Obviously, it is, to be honest. It is kind of, it does suffer, but but basically, now US having 3 packs and 3 different specializations basically enables the Marines, actually, because it's the Marines that got a new pack, to be way more versatile in this regard. The only issue is, if you did notice, Marines still only have, let me cancel this BS. What is this? 750 points in support. So it kind of sucks. I mean, it's an all-rounded specialization, but 750 points in support, you can get like 2 packs and you only have 350 points left for supplies and any other kind of shore ad. So I'll talk about like the specializations later, but obviously Marine Airborne, Marine SF definitely feel more viable now. You just gotta make sure that you don't you don't have too many packs in your deck, otherwise you'll run out of points for other stuff. The next thing that is also kind of huge is the fact that Super Cobras now have Zuni rockets. So instead of showing you in game, I'll just do this here. Where's my Zuni versus T90 video? Okay, so this the Zuni rocket is essentially the same thing as the Russians S-10, I believe. Like they have two sizes of rockets on their helicopters, and pretty much almost every single it's called S8 and S13. Yeah, it's the equivalent to the S13. It pens more, it does more damage, it has a bit more range, but they generally have less in like in each rocket pod. So like depending on your luck, you could either like kill a tank or sometimes you don't, but if you think about it, these helicopters are actually pretty cheap if you only put like Zunis on them. So that's a good thing, you know, we actually finally have an equivalent to whatever the Russians have. This is going to be a quick clip of them fighting BMPs. These are maxed out BMP 3Ms, so they are very tanky, but they can still manage to chip one off, whereas compared to using Hydras, I don't think they can, like, if you're lucky you can kill one, but if you're not, then good luck. Like, they're going to get into range and they're going to get fried, because the thing about 1200 meter range rockets like the Hydras is that once you get into range, you have to slow down, and then if he's driving into you, then you're gonna be in range of his autocannon. So it's not ideal. All right, next thing. We have this is not important. They also did some changes to the ABKWS rockets. We now have them in 7 tube rockets instead of 19. Basically, whatever this means. Okay, we'll go through that later. Like the more important part, you know. The Guardian being moved from Spec Ops to Airborne, this is very big actually. So if you take a look at Airborne, their helicopters, there are 3 Apache or Longboat Guardian, they're all here, AH-64s. And you might wonder, why do they have 3 of them in here? Like that's too much, right? And to that I actually agree, because look, they only have 1,000 points in helicopters anyways. Like, what are you going to put? You don't have that many points for helicopters anyways. But still, like, they did something. You know, they did a thing, made the Airbornes have the best helicopters that the US can offer. Obviously, the tankiest ones as well. It's kind of weird why they only put the tankiest ones in ones. This is essentially putting 3 packs in the same specialization. Like, what are you doing? But hey, you know what? Like, they want to buff Airborne. I'm happy with that. Fine. This does screw with some other specializations. We'll go through that later. And yeah, this is my concern. Like, Airborne doesn't really have that many points. However, the change to the rocket pods to make them more realistic does actually have benefits to it. The first thing is that they are cheaper now. So you could have a Guardian with like this build and it would be like about approximately 20 points cheaper than it used to be. Yeah. This used to be 305 points and you would have Hydras instead of daggers. And you could have this and this would be even cheaper. So the build is totally up to you. You would have less rockets, but the helicopters would be cheaper. That's the change they did for by, like, you know, changing swapping out the Hydra pods for the smaller dagger pods. Obviously you could still do the same for the longbow, but they are cheaper. Like, this used to be 245, I think, for Hydras. I kind of forgot. And then for the Apache, what you could do now is you can put 4 Hellfire ATs. Yeah, and this is a fuel tank, by the way, and don't ask me why it needs a fuel tank. It needs a fuel tank. And yeah, fuel tank, maybe it's for counterweight, you know? Once it shoots all 4 of its Hellfires, it's going to drop the fuel tank. That's the only purpose of it. You could also, like, now the Apache is actually extremely cheap. The cheapest build you used to be able to have is something like this. 190 actually, but I guess they changed it to the cheapest is 200. So you could have 8 Hellfires in this, but now instead you can just have 6 Hellfires, and 4 Hellfires, excuse me, and just leave it at that. You know, 150 points, or if you're on rockets, just a little bit more expensive. So yes, now the Apache is it's even cheaper now with Hellfires. So yeah, so big buff for Airborne for having 3 Apaches. You can basically have a death blob of helicopters if you wish. The only issue I don't understand is why all 3 in Airborne. The next thing is gonna be this. They basically increased the seats of every single, like most of the infantry transports and support vehicles that you have in the game, including the Airborne ISV, which also we will see a buff to weapon squads and airborne squads, going from 8-man to 9-man. So yeah, just one more M4, one more guy. Essentially, this change, like obviously they increased the price by 5 points, but the really big change is probably, I personally think it benefits NGSW a bit more. You get one more man with the spear. However, it also, like, airbornes are also more tankier now. They've never been bad, that's the thing. I mean, them getting buffed 3 patches in a row means something, right? I'm just gonna show you, alright, this is gonna be NGWS versus Morskaya. Basically, I put them in different range. The guys on the top, let me find my pen really quick. Docs, draw, okay. So these guys are 8-man. I had to like cut their HP. These guys are 8-man at, this is 400 meters range. This is 200, okay? So, obviously, the Airborne's won every fight, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they won all the fights, but from the remaining results, you could, this was a like 2 squad versus 2 squad scenario against Morskaya. They always won against Morskaya, but as you could see, they more of them survived, basically. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But obviously, they still can't beat, they still cannot beat, what do you call them again? Training Berettis against the very popular Coastal. But I still think that the main thing about this is that not only are they more survivable, like if you lose, let's say 3 models, you might only drop 1 AT4 now, whereas in contrast to like before, because of the weapon distribution, if you lose 3 models in an 8-man squad, you might lose maybe 2 AT4, so it kind of sucks for you. So yeah, that is a very good thing. Weapon squads being 9-man, kind of unexpected. Like they're okay, you know. They're just more survivable now, you know. Basically, I might actually consider they are a more expensive trooper squad with no smoke. Alright, anyways. For the other transports, a lot of good buffs for them. For example, you can put Marine Raiders and Silent Hawks. Nothing else comes to mind when I saw this buff. You know, I can put Marine Raiders and Marines and Silent Hawks now. Black Hawks, same for them. You can put Marines in them. DAPS, it doesn't really make sense. Like, I can't put Airbornes. What else can I put in them? Like two Green Beret teams, surely. Only for it to get one tapped by a Tor and something else, something. Meanwhile, for the ground transports, ISV is huge because now you can put now Strike Airborne is even more you know, it's even better now. There used to be a problem where I could only put engineer squads in strikers, but now I can put them in ISVs as well, which is pretty nice. They go very fast. Just send them to the front and then send the trucks back. No biggie. The other 3 trucks, honestly, the price, honestly, I don't really think they needed the change, but you know, I guess it's good, just for a little more price, but it might, or it will eventually cuck us when we build our supports, like when we build our support tabs. Alright, next thing, well, actually, yeah, it is a good thing. It does make US decks easier to build. The next thing is Ranger Standoff being buffed, for their damage being buffed. I think it's not great anyways. Their biggest problem was never their damage on their weapons. It was the fact that they don't have enough AT to deal with whatever they're facing. But you could watch this really quick. It's just
75th Ranger, at your command.
oh wait, this is against Cherney. Dang it. Okay, well they did get fried. Don't even think about it. They absolutely got fried there. But the other clip that I probably deleted was Rangers is standing outside of cover and just killing a Morskaya squad inside of a building. So yeah, the damage buff definitely was good at anti-infantry, but at the end of the day, if you only have like one squad standing there, like think about it, right? This airborne and GSW, and then where's the Rangers? There. So yeah, you could see that, you know, they're a bit cheaper. They deal way more damage in close range. Definitely not as good as CQC, but they also chip infantry in buildings, and the Raws, it doesn't pen that much, you know. It's an AT4 with 100 meters more range. That's the biggest issue I have with the squad, but you know, it is good. It is good. It's good. Okay, I'm delusional now. Alright, the next biggest change, actually, one of the bigger changes to Russia. These are all nerfs, by the way. The autoloader attacker or cornet launcher vehicles, which is I'm just gonna use this. Storm S, Cornet Ts, and Chrysanthemas, they've all been nerfed to have longer reloads now, and they're actually very good things. So this is a clip of what happened before the update. You can watch my STT getting shot at by the Chrysanthema here. I smoked up and then dodged 2 missiles, only for him to instantly reload and shoot them again. I mean, like, I probably should have just disengaged, but I saw the Diversanti, well, and then there my STT are dead, so... I mean, it should 2-tap my STT anyways, but then, to be honest, it shouldn't, like, reloading that fast has always been a really big issue. You never have a chance to engage it, unless you have helicopters, which they always have shot in the back, don't even doubt it. So, yeah, nerf, I feel like it's deserved. But maybe give Chrysanthema smoke, you know? Maybe, since it has a longer reload now. maybe. Chrysanthema is still very tanky though. It's basically a BMP3 maxed out. And next thing is kind of big, but you know, on the other hand, it's like maybe not that important. Is the attack aim time being increased by 1 second? So let's see. Let's go to Guards Brigade. These are all on the Barbaras, the Dervatia, and not Dervatia. Terminator and the BRM3K. So yeah, now it's 2 to 3 seconds. It's basically the same as the time you need to start shooting your autocannon. And I think it's, since they are like stabilized, you know, they're stabilized and everything, the game giving them a slight nerf so that you yeah, I feel like it does make sense, but on the other hand, they probably didn't deserve it, you know? Because, like, you only get 2 of them. The only really thing you should look out for is the, where is it? Terminator, because it gets 4. Like, the Terminator is the one that's scary since it gets 4, but the other is, like, you only get 2, you just smoke, you let it shoot one, you smoke, and then you poke out, and then let it shoot the other, and then you reverse back into your smoke, and you should be fine. But it does put you on the passive side, but I'm kind of used to this, I don't really care. So this is like, oh, I actually have a recording for it. Hold up. Yes, it's me with my beloved Striker RV. Yeah, so essentially this is how you engage, alright? It has nothing to do with the aim time. So if I drive my RV into that, what I want to do is I mean, obviously this is probably something that only the Striker RV can do, but still, I tank it with the APS. I shoot and then smoke up, dodge a second one. And then either he has to smoke now, or, you know, my missile connects. Probably still is going to connect, thanks to the Javelin's terminal guidance. If I were a tank, I would probably just face tank 2 of them, right? And if I'm in a Booker, I'll just smoke up, and then I'll just keep pushing it, because he can't pen my front. So, like, yeah, this BRM3K is definitely a scary recon truck for the price. It is actually quite threatening. But I think Bradley CFVs also beat it if you only use TOS. Yeah, you have to force him to smoke up. So yeah, I guess that's okay. Probably didn't deserve the nerf, but maybe people didn't like it. This BMP3, actually, how long am I into this? 24 minutes. Okay, not too bad. Only halfway through the 10 blocks. Dang it. So the extra smoke being removed is actually, I have no clue. I don't play mechanized that much. I was actually practicing, and I did find the extra smoke useful. But on the other hand, well, yeah, I guess every single IFV only has one smoke. Why do you get two, right? I mean, like that's unfair, surely. But oh, okay, you know what? I guess I don't really know why I got two smokes in the first place, but I feel like getting two smokes is like okay, anyways. Obviously, like this would mean that like having two smokes means that you don't even need a mortar. But on the other hand, mortars aren't that cheap anyways, right? Just bring a mortar, smoke yourself up, and then you don't even need to use smokes at all. The next thing, none of these are that important. Maybe armor upgrade price increased by 5 more sky, being nerfed by 5 points. Honestly, just minor changes. There's still going to be very good infantry. Solid infantry, in fact. And since BT3F can tank 2 shells, they're basically a BMP3 hull. Oh, it costs 75 now, or 85. Ooh, okay. All right, so it does add up. If you're more into like the spammy type of player, then yeah, the price does add up, but maybe not that much, you know. So. Alright, next part is this paragraph is basically it basically means that the VDV vehicles are a bit more survivable now. Not only is does the Sprut have 2 smokes, the up armored BMD or like the other guys. Oh, this guy doesn't get better armor, but let's see. Yes, this MDM. This guy like. The armor 80 kinetic 180 heat armor basically means that it's more resistant to 30 millimeters. Actually not 30 millimeters, like the Bushmasters. And even the Bushmasters 2 until you get into like closer ranges. So it is a good thing for them. Against strikers and pretty much only strikers, yeah, these guys can defend themselves, at least to a certain degree. So it is good, even though they are a bit more expensive, but you know, it's a good thing to have if you play stuff like VDV motorized or VDV mechanized. Actually, I don't know, but yeah, it is a good thing. Next thing is like Sprut one more smoke charge. Sheridan getting one more smoke charge is actually huge because it is someone told me to try use Sheridans last video. And I was gonna try it out until they updated, and then like now it gets an extra smoke, so it's pretty big, I guess, because it has no armor, right? Because no armor, it gets an extra smoke. I guess that makes sense. All right, where were we? Here. So, this thing, I think, them buffing the RSOF, not the RSOF, the Flyer GMB, because before you would always run the RSOF over the Flyer GMB because it was 8 HP, and its stats were basically identical besides the fact that the RSOF runs faster, and you wouldn't use the Flyer GMB with the autocannon anyways because you used to cost 60. And even though it's 5 points cheaper, it gets two more HP points. This is what happens when you send a Flyer GMB and face a Typhoon VDV. It immediately dies. Congratulations. Mainly because it has no armor. The aim time's the same, but since you don't have spotting range anyways, and you run into a what is it called again? A Typhoon VDV, you're gonna get shredded anyways, unless you're hiding in a bush or something. So yeah. But on the other hand, you kind of can see it as a helicopter ambushing truck, you know. You could see it as possible. It's also stealthier, but apparently its low altitude optics aren't the best. So yeah, they say it's a. Oh, let me hide this. They say it's an interesting alternative. It is, but I'm still going to be using the RSOF. Sorry. Next thing, BMP2s. Just some real-life accuracy changes. Even though I don't use BMP2s anyways. The next thing is actually pretty big for striker players, like me. Are any of you striker gang? Even though they took away the pack from us, there's nothing stopping me from continuing to play strikers. The biggest change is the dispersion buff. It actually, whatever this means, if you're wondering what this means, it basically means that this is the normal dispersion, and this is the dispersion for laser guided munitions without the laser. So I'm just gonna throw down this. This is a comparison of Brutus with what's that called again? Brutus with laser guided munitions, and those are HE Striker SPHs after the buff, obviously. The only issue is that since they don't really deal that much damage, even though they do have the same dispersion as the Brutus's laser guided munitions, they don't really kill units in buildings with HE. They don't have enough damage for that. It's only 105mm. Obviously the dispersion does make up for it. So if you ask me anything, it's going to be the fact that their cluster, like you'll see in a bit, like the holes on the ground, right? You can see how tight the dispersion actually is. Even though the 105mm blast radius isn't as big as the 152s, it's still like very tight. And if you got something disabled and like engine disabled on the field and you want to just kill it, maybe this would help. It also has smoke, so it's pretty nice. So maybe having like 1 or 2 in your deck would be okay. That being said, it is I think it's best for just sniping supplies, you know. That's the thing it does best. You just have 1 in your deck, and when you see supplies with your like sentinel or something, you just shoot it down. You just blow it up. And that's about it, because you don't expect it to actually kill anything. You just want the shell to know where it is and where it isn't, basically. All right. So, yes, Battleship Buff. It's actually big, you know. It's actually big. This is the build that the devs wanted us to try out, and the buff being huge is actually because they don't get one tap by ATGMs or tanks anymore. They actually survive now, so it is pretty nice. They cost 50, but still, please, this is a meme truck. It could shine, but you need so much micro to just make it work. I will try in the future, but still, it is a troll vehicle. They did some fixes on like the Mi-24K, I believe, so that the laser range increase was accurate. The Hawkeye gets smoke rounds now on top of the clusters. If you do happen to compare the SPH to the Hawkeye, oops, should have pinned that. Right, cluster and cluster. So they have the same shell, and well, technically on paper it says the same dispersion, but because you have more range, this is the dispersion for max range, right? So when you're firing from, like, let's say the Hawkeye's firing at max range, but you fire this the SPH at 3,200 meters, then it would have a tighter spread. So yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is Hawkeye's getting smoke is actually pretty big. I've always wished that it could get smoke or something, because it reloads fast, it runs fast, and it's cheap. And the other stuff, like the other like cluster, whatever, the shells you take, they don't kill that easily. They don't kill stuff that easily, so it's a good thing for them to have smoke. Airborne SF, or like whatever you pair airborne with, you could get Hawkeyes now. It just takes a slot in your support tab. So yeah, this is actually pretty nice. It frees a Brutus to just give it the laser guided munitions. These are the next thing is smoke mortars being getting more shells in general. Okay, so the Lav M has 50 smoke rounds now. Meanwhile, they made sure that the Dragonfire, which is 100 points, It gets more shells, it gets more HE shells and less smokes. The Deva motor, it's from no one plays mechanized. Actually, no one plays mechanized, man. Does anyone play mechanized? This thing, it got the same amount of smoke as it does HE shells. Obviously, you could try this, but they didn't balance this one. I wonder why. That's a shame. Okay, so only the same amount of smoke rounds and HE rounds in the Deva. So minor smoke buff for people who like to smoke themselves, smoke your opponent's positions before you push. Honestly, I think smoke is underrated. Why does no one use it? I've only had like one game against a US team that were spamming smokes like crazy, but that was about it. Next thing is actually huge. I don't like the change. Actually, mixed feelings, okay? Not that I don't like it. They moved 250 points from support to infantry. This changes the specialization in a sense where you actually have more space and room to use the striker vehicles instead of just relying on the infantry to do their job. So it is an interesting change, you know, but you also have to know that 250 points means you're giving out, you have to drop a Pack 3 MSE, or you have to drop something like HIMARS, something like that, or maybe like a maxed out striker I'm sure at. So depending on how you see it, it could be good, it could be bad, but at the end of the day, we just gotta get used to it. This is just me writing things in a haste. I think it's fine. Striker SF, yeah, I honestly do think Striker SF is a bit weaker now, especially after the Guardian got moved to Airborne. We'll come back later. Yeah, obviously Airborne Striker, the biggest issue, as my friend Penguin once said when he tried the deck out, was the fact that, yeah, this was my deck that someone else actually asked me to play earlier in the last video, was that the infantry tab was only 1700. So you always never had enough units in the infantry tab, but now since you have 2000, you can go from 1920 down to up to 2200. So yeah, you get a lot more units in there. Obviously the support tab ain't as big, but it's a price you gotta pay. So it does make Airborne Striker even better now, which is definitely worth trying now, I believe. This change, meanwhile, I believe it's like on the Russian side, it's just like solving confusion or something. I don't really know what this does. But okay, a minigun has the power of 2 machine guns. Cool. Wait, hold up. Does that mean? Oh. So this means it has 4 machine guns of firepower, and this is okay, this is something else. Very interesting. Okay, thank you, SBK. Huge nerf to the TOS again for 4-minute cooldown on a 300-point vehicle. Ooh. Good luck playing that. Last time when I played, yeah, just let me spoil myself. Where's the game with fellow? Here. Let me mute this really quick. This guy TOS'd me twice, by the way. I lose all of my units here. Like, you see those guys here? I lost them all. And where's the TOS coming in? Oh, yeah, okay. First came the cruise missiles, and then came the TOS. The guy was just so fed up with me putting... Yeah, okay, here comes. That was 2 TOSs, by the way. And everything just essentially just died. Yeah, very unfortunate, but... Yeah, he did get the, like... I guess it did work out for him. I also killed the TOS, though. Worth. Anyways. I think the main issue with the TOS, actually, it's... Like... I guess resupplying, like making them have less uptime is nice, but the range is the thing for me, you know? Like the McClick only has 1200, but the TOS has more range. But then I guess this is also a nerf that it could work. It would be a way that it works, you know? I like this nerf. Just gotta be more careful, you know? You can't just like randomly shoot your TOS at the tree line and expect it to work. I also think that using just the unupgraded TOS would be perfect because you just don't even need the range, you know? You're a tank hull. Why are you so scared about using the TOS? Alright, next thing. I hate this change, by the way. The EX, they gutted one of the planes that I was actually hoping they would buff in some way, but they kind of fucked it up in another sense. So the first thing, you might look at the dev blog and be like, Corn, how is this a bad thing? All right, let me show you. Allows it to carry harm missiles on the outer pylons. You want to know where the outer pylons are? The pylons you can take 4 AMRAMs on, which was always a big issue because you couldn't swap it out for any bombs, no nothing. Okay, well, apparently we heard that we could put harms on it, right? Nope, you have to bring it with the AMRAMs. So congratulations, you have to add 65 more points to this BS. Okay, very fun. Next change is the centerline and fuselage weaponry merge into a single. Okay, so basically this means that I cannot bring 2 JASMs. I have to bring 3. Or I can't I have to bring something here now. It's obviously very frustrating. I could also bring this. Like this is my. Oh my god. Why? Why is this a thing? But obviously you could still do the okay, 440. There used to be a 440 point eagle, and you only get 2 DASMs. 500 points is for 3. This also works depending on your liking. But then it's so expensive, man. Why would you do this? I guess you could say that corn it makes it more convenient for all of us. Okay, fine, man. I'm just not a big fan of the change, but if you like a lot of JASMs and an eagle, then go ahead. It's pretty nice, I suppose. But yeah, they claim that it doesn't impact the airborne striker or some other stuff that have good seed platforms. But then again, the good thing about this plane is the fact that you can have oh wait. Oh, this might be good. It still costs. Okay, so it's a bit cheaper now. You used to be able to take 4 JDAMs, and it would cost like 480 or something. Now it's 460. You get 3 JDAMs. But you know, for a strike plane, it's okay. But you can also do this 450 JSOW, and then oh god, it's so expensive. Never mind. I don't want to talk about this topic anymore. All right, next change. This. The Sparrow and these are both 5-kilometer ranged missiles that are passive guidance. They fire faster apparently, and you can have 2 on the same target now. This change, I must say, it only benefits you. It only benefits you when you're chasing the opponent, and obviously I have no friends, so I had to do this against a bot. I had to do some. I had to set it up. So this is the Eagle fighting the. This is a 260 point SU 30, SU-35S, SU-35S. Yes, it has a new icon now, and it has a 7-kilometer and 9-kilometer range missiles, which means it's always going to fire 2 missiles before I about the same time I get to fire 1, because it's about range, right? It's about the range. And more often than not, I get 2 shot by the thing before I actually get to use my my sparrows in a dogfight. So, is it good? Maybe, but you need to invest so here's the thing, right? The US only have sparrows on 2 planes. The first is the Eagle. Oh wait, where is it? Here. Yeah, so for 240 points, you get a pretty scary fighter, but it's only good at dogfighting. Okay, it gets outranged by most of the other most of the other VDV planes that have R37s. If you do manage to fly this plane into your opponent's spawn, then it's going to be a beast. That's the only thing I can think of now. For the Hornet, meanwhile, you would never run 4 sparrows on it because it would make no sense. If you run 4 sparrows, you could run this, 4 sparrows, 4 AMRAMs, but if you're running the Hornet, You want the gunslinger, right? You don't want anything else. And if you run the gunslinger, then and you run like 4 sparrows, then you have no AMRAMs. So yeah, this build for the Hornet makes no sense. It's only going to benefit the Eagle if you decide to run this build in the first place. For the Russians, I believe not 35S. Not these guys. Actually, I have no clue how the Russians, which Russian planes have these, but I believe it's more on the coastal side, like this guy, ER, right? Yeah, ER. No ER. This guy's no ER. It's only 2 of them? Okay, yeah, this guy definitely has more. Yeah, so this guy can get plenty. Ooh, more ER. Ooh, more ER. Ooh, okay, 235. Yeah, okay, this plane might be scary if you manage to fly this into your opponent's air spawn, but it's niche, okay? It's very niche. It would be funny. It would be funny if it happens, but I still think range on missiles are superior to like when you engage normally. Next thing, like the next are some minor changes to some Russian planes. Guns being able to fire on the move, that's crazy. Stabilizer. This is the UR-77 is the Russian version of the McClick. UR-77. Yes. So they kind of buffed it by making it 10 points less expensive. And yeah, the only thing is I don't think it gets smoke. Yeah, it does not get smoke. So that might be why, like, they say it's situational. We don't expect... I use them a lot, my brother, but they think it's underperforming. But just give it smoke, okay? Just give it smoke and it'll be fine. This next thing, I'm yapping for 46 minutes. This video is taking longer than it should. Is the oh, do I need to show you this? This is actually me getting lucky, by the way. Never mind. Maverick runs. Okay, so basically this change, it doesn't really affect you if you're doing your Maverick runs normally. Instead, it only like as you can see the firing cone it has. It should. Where's my pen? Okay. How's it there?
Direct attack pattern confirmed.
Hold up.
CAS mission received.
Okay, so the cone used to be like this, right? Actually, not this. Like here,
New heading set.
there. It used to be even wider. And a thing that happens, especially with the Seeker, is that if your tank smokes up, let me pause this really quick.
Dive attack confirmed.
If your opponent smokes up, and your missiles are fired, it's gonna find something else. So it could potentially snipe the tour in your back or somewhere over here, which is something that I believe is not the best. So yeah, so like good change, I believe. It doesn't really affect people who do Mav runs normally. It just sometimes your Mavericks accidentally kill stuff. Okay, so good change. Next thing, F-35 availability reduced from 4 to 2. This was mainly because of the okay, if you watch my videos, the low altitude precision strike. Actually no, safe low altitude precision strike. Okay, it's called the slaps. Okay, I name it that way, but you can call it whatever you want. Basically, whatever you do is you fly low and then you do the bombing run last second, and then you laser target. And then the 2,000-pound bomb is going to one-shot the tank, basically. You don't even need time to line up the precision strike, which they decided to limit the amount of F-35s you can bring until they find a way to prevent this technique. But the thing is, a lot of the other planes can do the same thing as well, right? If you didn't know that, random example, Su-34, boom. Cab 1,500, you can take it with seed, by the way. Only costs you 320. 320? I thought it was 340. Anyways, but yeah, you can have seed and a big bomb and a laser, and you can nuke a tank like that. So it's definitely a thing. Obviously, this guy, there's only 2 of them, but let's say you can also build that on the Strike Eagle with 7 of the bombas. Where'd he go? Okay, there. Okay, for a price of 290, you can one-shot a tank. Yeah, okay, but you can put 4 of them in your deck, so like, your Samzar is going to be at the back, right? If you're flying in a low altitude, even though your SAM site has like more than 4 kilometers of spotting, it still might be a bit too late if you're not like microing your tank the same time as your opponent's doing the strike. So like limiting the what is English? Limiting the availability is okay, I call it BS, but okay, if they want to fix this issue, yeah, okay, that's fine. I guess Russian players are a bit tired of F-35 just bombing stuff like this, which I think is fair, to be honest. Like, if I'm microing something else and my thing gets sniped, I would be pissed. A Comanche slight nerf, but I think the bigger issue is SF losing the Guardian. It's a much bigger issue. But yeah, they're more easily spotted. The thing is, because Hellfires are not fire and forget, they actually... Yeah, like you can just smoke up and be done with it. So, yeah, that's everything we're trying to cover with this dev blog. You can read everything else yourself. We've been yapping for 51 minutes, and we're going to be making a tier list for this. Okay, so, this is from a perspective of a guy that wants that tryhards. Okay, so, this was what it used to be like before the patch. MSF, like somewhere... How about we just change the names? Unplayable. Very good. Actually, let's change it here. When in doubt, go to a situational... Oh, what the hell? And this is just bad and unplayable. Okay, so what is this called again? Okay, so the problem with the Marine Airborne before the patch was that they had no packs. You only have AMRAMs. The air tab is decent, but okay, maybe it's not that bad, but the main issue is still SAM site. So I guess bad. Okay, Marine Armored. This thing, I'm pretty sure barely anyone plays it, but if you play, you play for the tanks and you play for infantry. It is also a bad deck. You do get packs, which is nice. Actually, I personally think it's worse than personally I think it's worse than Marine Airborne, but okay, we'll keep it here in case there's something even worse. Marine Striker, very good. Because it has like it has helis, not that much helis, but it's good. And like at least it has helis. Infantry tab is fantastic. Support tab is great. Air tab is huge. Recon tab, you get the Striker RV. So the only thing it doesn't get is drones. And yeah, it's very good in that regard. It also gets the M-Click or the Catfei. Marine SF is situational because it's a very infantry focused deck. You get good helicopters as well. The only thing you don't get is a very shit support tab. Yes, you get Lavels, you get some other stuff. So it is a situational deck. Only 750 points or 825 points in your support tab. So good luck trying to make a deck with that. Armored SF, people rate it very highly, but I personally am not a big fan of it. I think it's situational, even though I'm just not a very big armor player, but I guess people find it comfortable. I'll put it in when in doubt, go to. Because it gets a pack 2 and good planes. It's a very well out-rounded. The only shit thing about it is the ground logi is ass. You only get that, like, what's that truck even called? This thing. It's so slow, it does nothing, man. It might get sniped halfway on the way to like the front line, so yeah, I don't like it. But you know, it is a good deck. Everything else about the deck is fantastic. Striker SF is my personal when in doubt go-to deck. I don't think twice. If I have questions, I just pick this deck and I play. But depending on like whether you like armored or not, like if you like to play tanks and you think bookers are trash, then it's probably situational. Okay, maybe I'll put it here. Very good. Be a bit conservative, okay, about the haters. Actually, I don't think there are haters out there, but anyways, SF Airborne. If you play it in a 2000 plus lobby, you are trolling, but it's a very like you only get thunderbolts and then like helicopters, and I still think it's like okay, fine, situational. You do get artillery with the Brutus. Actually, because I think it's good. I think I'll put it in bad. Okay, unplayable. You know, it's unplayable. All right, Airborne Striker. It's situational to very good. Okay, definitely worse than SF. Worse than SF Striker. So yeah, it's the only. Actually, are there any issues? Yeah, the only issue is it doesn't have an F-35. But I am being picky. Everything else is good. It gets snipers. It has good helicopters and it gets bookers and M8 Thunderbolts. So if you need to deal with tanks with the gun, you have the M8 for it. If you deal with anything else that's armored and you need a gun for it, it's going to be the booker. So I actually think it's very good. It's just not that popular. But I'll put it in situational because you got buffed, surely. I am biased. Maybe. Okay, we'll put it here. Even it out a bit. Armored Striker is... I've seen Zulu play, you know? I think situational. Because you used to be able to spam the prisms and everything, right? Artillery, GMLRS. Even now, I think you can still do it because you have such a big tab, you know? How big is your support tab, actually? 2,500, yeah. You have so many MLRSs in your deck that even with the nerfs, you might still be able to pull it off. And you still have CJs to do it. So, but this is before the patch, right? So I think it's like situational because you have no helicopters, your air tab is small. Everything else is decent though. But you don't get snipers. Okay, you don't get snipers. Yeah, last thing, Armored Airborne, it's... Yeah, okay, it's when in doubt your go-to deck. This was before the patch, even. Because, compared to SF, the SF stuff is a bit more expensive. Airborne team... Like, Airborne's, even before the 9-man buff, they are still good. The helicopters, they do what you want them to do. They get what you want them to do done. So, they're nice. The only issue about them is that the air tab of Airbornes, they don't get seed. The only seed you get is on the Eagle, and yeah, like what the hell? What the hell is this thing? Get it out of my face! Like this thing costs so expensive, man. You only get 2 of them as well. But hey, I guess before the patch, you know, definitely good go-to deck. Because like you don't get seed, you probably rely on your teammate to do it for you. So this would be it before the patch. Can I pull them down? I have to move them now? What the hell? Oh, can I just make a new one? Okay, then I'll just download it. Download image. Okay, we make a new one. Okay, there we go. Alright, after the patch. Hold up. Let me drink something. I am dying. So, Marine Armored. I think it's the same thing, man. It hasn't changed much. You actually get one more pack. And helicopters, if you do need help, like, because the thing about this is you have decent shot, you have good stuff on, like, you have a very good recon tank, which is the what's it called again? Bradley CFB. You get snipers, you get the helicopters have you can put whatever you want on them. They're the most versatile of, you know, they're the most versatile helicopters that America can offer. You still have F-35s, even though the air tab isn't big. Your support tab is also still big enough. So wait, what did I write down on? Okay. When in doubt, go to. Very good. What's this? Situational? Bad. Unplayable. Okay. So I feel like getting one extra pack doesn't really mean a lot. You get the pack 3, but I still feel like it hasn't changed much, you know? You get height, like the bigger rockets on the. I feel like I should try this deck out, but I just think the other decks are more fun. Okay, we put it situational. Marine Airborne is actually, I think it's gonna be even better now, because it didn't have a pack. Now it has a pack 2, and you have smoke. You can get different kinds of smoke. You can have smoke on your LAV-M. You can get smoke on your Hawkeyes. You have laser guided artillery, which is the Brutus. All the infantry squads are very good at meat grinding, and on top of that, you still have access to cheap weapon teams. You have snipers and everything, a very big helicopter tab, and also F-35s and Prowlers and Seed. So I think it's very good now, mainly because of the change they did to both of these specializations. They are very good. So next thing, armored SF. No, not armored SF. What am I? I'm hallucinating. USMC and Strikers. I think they should be. I feel like they're a bit worse now. They definitely don't feel as good as Marine Airborne, but you do have access to the Booker, which is a good thing. The Booker is it's so valuable, but the weapon teams are a bit more expensive. But I still think it's okay, you know. It should be the same level as this. It's just depending on the playstyle you want. Like this one is more gun focused, gunardy focused. And this one has no helicopters. Like yeah, actually I think this has maybe did I put it here? I don't know, I'll put it here for now. Okay, Marine SF. You do get a pack 2 now. You have vehicle Shorad. Very big heli tab. Ooh. I still feel like it's situational, but you do get 4 F-35s and a Raptor. The air tab is huge. I haven't tried them out, actually. Let me think. Snipers are cheap. Weapon teams are very expensive, though. But you could make it up with your helicopters still. Actually, your helicopters. Okay, they have no Guardian, situational. Yeah. Because, like, all of your helicopters are going to get 1 tab by a Tor. So if you lose your helicopter and you didn't, and instead of investing in weapon teams, you got a helicopter and you lost the helicopter to 1 Tor, then it would not be worth it. Also expensive, so situational you go. Or you could just smoke everything up and just push with the CQC infantry and then like Marine squads and smalls. That would also work. Yeah, one more thing to add. But if you had more smoke, your support tab would be packed and you wouldn't have time. You wouldn't have space to put packs or Shorad or Logi, or the M-Click guy also. So yeah, I don't think it's that good. All right, armored SF. You get the pack 3, which is actually, I personally think the pack 3 is better than the pack 2. Am I gonna get burned on a pike for saying that? But losing the Guardian doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect this specialization as much. You still have tanks to deal with your opponent's tanks. Ground Logi is still ass. Ooh. no weapon teams, or like weapon teams are expensive. Oh yeah, actually, maybe still very good. You still get the pack 3 and like a decent air tab, but the helicopters don't feel as strong anymore, mainly because of the Guardian. But you still have a very big infantry tab. I don't know, it's a tough one. Maybe leave it there. SF Striker, definitely situational now. I think that losing the Guardian matters a lot. You have to spend points in getting, not only this, really. Like, my deck used to look like, my beloved. Okay, here. It definitely doesn't look the same anymore, but you only have space for 4 bookers. The support tab is... Oh. Yeah, it's smaller now, so you don't have that much space to put packs in there. And they took away 2 of my packs, so that's why it looks like something's missing. I used to have like 2 pack 3s, so now it should be like this. I would be putting 2 of these in here, but I can't take this anymore. I can't like run this build anymore. Also, no Guardian sucks balls, because the DAP is not tanky. It only gets ECM, and that's about it. It's still going to get 1-tapped if your opponent's lucky. The air tab is nice though. The air tab main is still the same, but I think I had 3 F-35s. So, yeah. Like, I think it's worse now. Maybe even bad. We'll see, you know? Maybe if I think it's shit. No Guardian, no life, man. SF Airborne. Nothing has changed. Everything about it has actually been good because you don't lose the Guardian. You have all the AH-64s. But because it has no good ground vehicles, you just have the RSOV, not the RSOV. The MATV and then the M8 Thunderbolt. Maybe like you can take these, but none of them can actually tank stuff. It's all infantry and yeah, also situational. Alright, we gotta clear out this tab, man. It's too big. Airborne Striker. Very good. You got the Guardian now. Everything's buffed. The only thing you lost was probably 250 points in the support tab, but that's about it. It's also more flexible. You have a lot of gunarty, actually. So much gunarty. Like, look at this. You get Brutus with guided rounds. You can have smoke on your Hawkeyes. You have different kinds of Shorads. And you still get packs. And if you still want, you can get a Slam Ram too, if you really want, but that's overkill at this point. You have different types of rounds that have good dispersion. Maybe cluster rounds is the way to go, because you can snipe supply points just as easily, and maybe vehicles as well. So yeah, like a lot of gunarty, and on top of that, you can still get a HIMARS. So yeah, even though the support tab, how big is the support tab now? 2,000. Okay, still decent. Definitely playable. I'll look into it though. Maybe it's really good. I want to say it's bad, but I think unplayable. Okay, back to unplayable zone. Armored Airborne. Let me think. Might actually be even better now, because you get the Guardian. What did they lose? Just the pack 2. Yeah, but you still get the pack 3. You have the Guardian. Everything the Airborne has is buffed, and yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this deck. It's good. Ah, you just don't get seed, but like still. Actually, what did I think earlier? Yeah, put it up there, man. Put it up there. Alright, let's clear out these 2 spots. We gotta figure out who goes up, who goes down. Airborne Marines. Actually, they might have the better. You just lose out on the Comanche, but you know. All right, how about I just leave it at this? It looks awful. Okay, I'll make this tier list again, but this is gonna be in like a couple weeks' time. It looks absolutely terrible. I have to try all these decks in the middle and see which ones are good, which ones are bad. All right, guys. This video took a bit longer than for me to make. I should have been releasing a Hilo Heist today, but because of the update, you have this instead. So I hope you find this video helpful. It's a bit longer than usual. And but anyways, I hope you enjoyed and hope you have a good day. And also thank you for listening to me yap. So have a good day and till next time. Goodbye.